Before we start the actual video, I wanted to give you a little bit of background on the video itself and the actual amplifier. The video, you may have seen this before if you're a subscriber to one of my other channels, because I had it up in January. I still do, but that channel is more focused towards automotive, motorcycles, that kind of thing. So decided to create another channel that was more dedicated to my current hobby, which is woodworking and creative things like that. Now the amplifier, it was in my basement. It was my son's. He took guitar lessons for a short time, and I was going to throw it away. I was cleaning out the basement, decided to repurpose it. So instead of throwing it away, I give it a new life, and here's what you see. Okay, we're going to start out by tearing down the amplifier. I'm not going to show you all that footage. In the next frame, you'll see measurements that I just took a screenshot of kind of quick. Those are actual measurements. So that's a full-size Nintendo, and I scaled it up to the size that I wanted. This is quite a bit larger than a regular Nintendo. I did not have one, so I had to get those on the internet. And now I'm just cutting out the main pieces, and here is the front panel, which I'm cutting out the actual door slot. I'm working with MDF. I would not suggest working with MDF. It's messy, it's horrible. Choose something else that's not as messy, I would say. And again, I'm just cutting out some slots right now because I want to get all the slots on the actual Nintendo perfect. Well, somewhat perfect. Here I'm cutting all those lines, those vent lines you see at the top in black on Nintendo. I'm using a square and a block of wood, and I'm using an 1/8 inch router bit. And I'm just going to cut one line, move it over, cut another, move it over. I'm just using that little jig that I just created with just a piece of MDF and a square. That's pretty much it. We'll get a close-up shot here. There you go. And I make 2 passes because, again, MDF is very sloppy, horrible wood to work with this kind of project. So you had to make 2 passes to get a clean cut. Now we're going to be mounting the speaker. The old video, I'm actually talking in the video, so you may hear that in the background. I've got it toned down quite a bit, so you can't really hear what I'm saying, but essentially I'm going to use the old template here for the new speaker, for the old speaker, but in the new box. So we're going to cut out a perfect circle, well, somewhat perfect, on the bandsaw here. Then we're going to smooth it out, and we're going to cut the center out with the jigsaw, and then glue up where we cut with the bandsaw. Next, I'm going to cut out the buttons. I did that with the jigsaw and then some chisels. Sand it down, and then we're going to actually put the sides on. I glue them, and then I also nail them in place right here. See that? And to get all those lines, there's a lot of lines in there. We're going to use the table saw. First, I'm going to square up the bottom, get it completely flat, and I'm just pressing it against my fence, and then just getting all the sides the same. There we go. There's those lines. So you see the front, there's not very many lines there. So I've just got to run it through the table saw a few times to get all the lines that are on the Nintendo. There's a lot of lines on this box, more than I ever thought. There you go. You see the 2 lines created in the front and the back. Now we've got to create the ones running along it. Go to the router there and square up that hole. Now I had a little bit of an error here. You can see I went too far over. I'm just kind of showing that, so it's not perfectly aligned. Now I'm taking out the electronics. I'm going to put them in. I'm cutting a plate there. I'm actually going to put them into the Nintendo. So I didn't do anything fancy, just some 5-minute epoxy. Set it in place, 5-minute epoxy on the panel. And here I'm gluing up the door on the phone. Putting some little hinges on the door. You see the plate there. The door turned out a lot better than I thought it would. Again, this is MDF. It's horrible to work with. Now I'm going to drill a hole for the actual light, the power on light, and these are the actual buttons. These are going to be the buttons. One's going to be fake, one's going to work. These are just made out of MDF also. Just putting a glue blank back there for that one to stick out, and then 5-minute epoxy. We're going to glue the actual button that I created to the switch from the amplifier. We're painting it with some store-bought paint, just regular paint. And there's the control panel right there. Now we're going to take the speaker, wrap it up, wrap the ring that I created, build a bracket for the actual switch. Here it is. put it in there. Just marking the bracket out, pounding it where I need it. Fill a couple holes. And you see it moves quite a bit, so I created just a little block right there, just another MDF, and I epoxied that in place as well so it would not flex that back panel. You see now you press on it really hard, it doesn't flex. And there's the light, well, the hole. There's the actual light. That was from the amplifier. Now I'm just screwing in the various pieces, soldering the wires together because they're a lot shorter. Now this is water slide decals. I basically found this online, printed it out to the size I needed. I'm spraying the activator right here. This is actually the clear coat, I should say, so it doesn't just disintegrate. And then I applied it to the actual front. You can see that overlap where I messed up going into the black. And now we're done. We're going to plug it in and test it. And all in all, it works great. I wish I would have slowed this video down in the original cut. I don't have the original footage. Otherwise, I could have slowed it down and explained things a little bit better. But I had it in fast pace. So unfortunately, this is what we have to work with. And you can see it actually plays. Everything functions as it should. Distortion. All that good stuff. I cannot play the guitar, so you're just going to get some strumming. And that's really going to do it. Please post any questions or comments, and thanks for watching.